watching News9's Deccan Vahini with me, Pratibha, and today our focus is on Kerala, where a brutal killing has taken place. A 27-year-old RSS worker, Sanjit, was brutally murdered in front of his wife. And the BJP leaders have alleged that SDPI activists are responsible for the murder. It's been about a week and there has not been any headway in the case. There has not been a single arrest by the Kerala police. The BJP has demanded for an NIA probe into this case. To discuss more on it and the situation on ground, joining me is BJP State President, Mr. K. Surendran. Many thanks for joining us. Mr. Surendran, you also recently met the family members of Sanjit. What have the police officials told the family members?
Before that, first of all, I wanted to say something. I strongly condemn the brutal murder of RSS worker Mr. Sanjit. Was hacked to death in broad daylight in Malambuzha, Palakkad. Since last 1 week, police couldn't arrest a single culprit perpetrator in this brutal murder. While he was traveling with his wife in a motorbike, the murder was happened. As per the autopsy reports, there are more than 36 wounds have found in his body. The terrorists have used sharp-edged weapons like this in Bangalore and in Mangalore, many murders were happened. SDPI and PFI activists are targeting nationalist workers, especially RSS BJP workers in Kerala. Since last 5 years, there are more than 10 BJP RSS workers were brutally murdered. No single person behind the curtain is not yet booked. So the state government led by Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan is shielding the PFI activists for their vote bank politics. So this SDPI and PFI is doing a lot of harm to the Kerala people, especially peace-loving people. They are trying to destabilize the nation, trying to divide communally the public. There are so many incidents, but the police is not yet acting a single thing against this PFI and radical Muslim organizations. Police is shielding them.
There have been several political killings, over 300 in Kerala. It's become extremely commonplace. It's only increasing in Kerala even after Pinarayi Vijayan took over as the chief minister. But you're demanding an NIA probe, which means you're suspecting a terror angle in the case. Do you have any specific, input or intel on that you're asking for an NIA case? Because there have been many NIA cases, but it has not led anywhere. So do you think the same will happen in this case as well?
No, this is something different because I think that the culprits, the goons came from Tamil Nadu. Police has clear clues, but they are not trying to find out the people. Actually, that day, the one civil police officer was the eyewitness. The place which that murder has happened, it is 2 kilometers away from the national highway. Police couldn't control the traffic and search the CC cameras and find out the persons. Only after 1 week, the police has shown the car which is used for this murder. And moreover, the police couldn't do anything to find out the culprits. And I am suspecting there is a nexus between the CPM and PFI activists in Kerala. Last election also, assembly election also, and local body elections also, there was a secret understanding with PFI and SDPI and CPIM in many places. In Palakkad itself, Shornur municipality is ruling by CPM, this with the support of the SDPI member. In many, even in Iratupeta, Kottayam, Pala, many places the CPM and the SDPI activists are common. There is a common platform. So the vote bank politics, wooing the Muslim fundamentalist groups, the CPM is doing that. That is why we are asking. We lost the faith in Kerala police. That is why we are demanding the NIA. So we are going to approach the Honorable Home Minister also. Tomorrow I am going to meet Sri Amit Shah ji in Delhi. So this is a serious threat to Kerala, not for BJP and RSS. This is a serious threat to Kerala. So many things. These recently the halal hotels. Suddenly the halal boards coming up in many towns across Kerala for the halal. So they are trying to divide the people. And their Islamic State agenda is very clear in Kerala. It is a serious threat to Kerala.
Okay, okay. Islamic threat, in Kerala, this is something that the BJP had spoken about in the assembly elections as well. So let me come to that. In the assembly elections, there were big BJP leaders who campaigned. The BJP went all out, and it seemed like BJP would make some inroads in Kerala, but that did not happen. So what do you think went wrong? Do you think the issues you picked did not really resonate with the people there, or what do you think happened?
No, not like that. With the help of the communal groups, they could get the majority once again. We fought strongly and we campaigned very much. We could reach 9 seats as second position. We couldn't get a single seat, that's a truth. But in many places where our senior leaders contested, we could see the secret understanding between the CPIM and the Muslim League and the Muslim terrorist outfits. Jamaat Islami and PFI group is behind. You see in Nemam Trivandrum, where Kumaran Rajasekaran contested, there was a secret understanding. In Manjeswaram, where I contested, there was a clear secret understanding. In Metroman East Sridharan contested in Palakkad, there was also a secret understanding. Where Suresh Gopi contested Thrissur constituency, there was also a secret understanding. This is happening always in Kerala, but I am confident that the people will understand. People will realize the truth. The PFI and Islamic terror organizations are trying to destabilize the country, not destabilize the BJP. They want to stop BJP coming to assembly. The agenda is very clear. So we will definitely go to people and we will have a very strong campaign in the common man. We will go to common man. We will explain all these things. We will be definitely there will be a positive change in Kerala politics.
Okay. In Palakkad, the BJP has made inroads. In Thiruvananthapuram, especially in the Pathanamthitta area, BJP has made a lot of inroads because of issues like Sabrimala. But do you think the BJP has any chance in Kerala when you're not taking the Muslim population in confidence? Over 30% of the population in Kerala are Muslims. And when you pick issues that are so polarizing, do you think it's possible for the BJP to make that kind of a connect with the youth at all?
I don't know. I am aware of the reality. The population regarding the population, I know the reality. Still, we are below 50% the Hindu population, but still in 86 assembly constituencies, Hindu population is more than the minority population. So this is not an issue. We are not polarizing anything. Polarization by the UDF and LDF. They are trying to polarize because 30% of the Muslim vote, they are going, the vote bank politics is always there in their agenda. What they, even in developmental agenda also, they are trying to mix religion in politics. So we are campaigning against this.
Okay. The BJP has supported the Christian community in Kerala, especially when talking about narcotics jihad. Before that, during the assembly elections, it was the love jihad issue as well. With the Christian community, do you think the BJP has the kind of trust factor? Because in a few other states, it's completely different. Say in Karnataka, for instance, the churches are being surveyed, which has worried the Christians in Karnataka. So because of this image that the BJP has in perhaps the other states, do you think in Kerala, it's difficult to gain the trust of the Christian community?
No, that situation is not much in Kerala because while the Pala Bishop statements came, immediately after the statement, within 2 hours, the PFI activist marched to the Bishop House and there was a huge protest with arms. So nobody was there to protect them. No congressman, no Kerala congressman, no CPM, and only BJP workers and RSS workers rushed there and protected the Bishop House, and we were only supporting. So gradually the Christian community realizing that the main enemy, the threat to the community and the threat to the nation is not RSS, it is PFI. Muslim terror outfits are the main enemy of the country, for the country and the Christian community. So the situation is gradually changing. We are hopeful that Christian community will come to BJP in the coming days.
Okay, okay. So what are the lessons you have learned from the assembly elections? Any change in strategy, any change in the issues that you're going to pick in Kerala?
Both politically and organizationally, we are doing something. We have divided our assembly constituencies into two. Now, now 280 constituencies we form. We are concentrating the booth level activities. We are concentrating the common man issues like K-Rail issue, like this terror issue, in all the states, the state governments reduced the tax of petroleum prices, but in Kerala, no single penny has been reduced. So all these issues we are taking up, and organizationally also we are going forward. We are changing the strategy of the organization. We are concentrating in booth levels. All the booths we are giving a responsibility to all leaders. Last 5 days in a month, every leader, including senior leaders, will go to their booth and see the common man and visit their houses. So we are having a very powerful strategy, building of an organization and the reach out the common man, especially the downtrodden, CST and even minorities also. We are trying to reach the minorities.
Okay, okay. But, after the assembly elections, would you say within the BJP also there has been a slight divide? Because, initially there was talk that maybe, you could be replaced. Of course, you had the backing of the central leadership as well. But do you think with the people, they now feel that there might be a divide within the BJP, or, is BJP united?
No, this is always happening in Kerala because the media in Kerala, you know better than me, totally hostile against BJP. So this is happening in every single sentence of a leader. It will be breaking news in Kerala. This is no. We are actually issues considering the issues comparing to Congress and CPM. There is no internal fight in BJP. What is happening in CPM? Only one leader is doing all these things, Pinarayi Vijayan. There is no party, there is no leaders, only Pinarayi Vijayan is doing. What is happening in Congress? Chandy is left out and Chennithala is also, we can see. So comparing to UDF and LDF, we are better in Kerala. So if there is any differences, we will discuss it in our party forum and we will chalk out the strategy to go along. I am keeping confidence of all senior leaders and our party functionaries. There is nothing to hide before media. Only thing is media is creating all these issues.
Okay, so your tenure as the state BJP chief, expected next year. Would you continue in the role? And if not, then is there anybody that you're backing?
That is up to national party. I cannot say anything now because 1.5 years is more. Before that also there could be a change. After that also there may be continuation. This is all by the central party. How can a state person say this?
Okay, okay. Because a lot of reports have come out with your equation with Mr. Suresh Gopi. Would you like to clear the air on that, on what your relation is like or what your equation is like with Mr. Suresh Gopi?
Suresh Gopi is a very strong and powerful and he is doing a lot of proper things comparing to other 28 Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha members. Only Muralidharan ji and Suresh Gopi ji is doing for Kerala. So the other MPs are not doing a single thing for the Kerala common public. But Suresh Gopi and Muralidharan ji is doing a lot. Even our Alphonse Kannantharam is also doing a lot. I am having a very good relation with Suresh Gopi ji. He is a very nice man. He is doing all these things for the common man.
Okay, okay. As I conclude this interview, one issue that the BJP has found itself in is the Korakara money heist case, where the BJP was accused of being involved in the Hawala money scam. Do you think the BJP's image is now tainted because of that case?
No, police tried a lot. You also aware of that. They created a lot of stories published in media. There was a 3 months long inquiry. Finally, what happened? The day one, I am saying that there is nothing to hide, nothing to be with BJP. This is only East case. This is a robbery case, a highway robbery case. What is there with BJP in this? They can't even find a single point to connect BJP.
No, but they said that
The charge sheet
this was the
is-
money for BJP in the election. They said that you were
no.
aware of this money as well.
No. We are not using currency transactions in our party activities and election activities. We are only e-transfers only. So day one, I am saying there is nothing to tie with BJP. These are all propagandas by the left government. The police has tried a lot to defame BJP, but finally people could understand what happened. The charge sheet is before the court now. What is there against BJP in that?
Okay. And, as far as the national leaders are concerned, you're saying that these local issues, this is being done to target the BJP in Kerala, but nationally as well, whether it is, Prime Minister Modi, whether it is the Home Minister Amit Shah, the BJP President JP Nadda, do you think that the people, the youth of Kerala and even the people in Kerala connect with the national leaders, or do you think there's a complete disconnect and they are more, they have more of a connect with the local BJP leaders?
No, always there is connection. Modi ji is doing a lot for Kerala, and Amit Shah ji and Nadda ji also always keep in touch with Kerala BJP also. There is a close understanding between the central party and the central ministers, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There is no confusion in that.
But it's not translated into votes, whether it's in Lok Sabha or during the assembly elections.
Yes, that is an issue because the central schemes are renaming by the state government, and the most of all these development schemes, they are diverting the funds, they are renaming the funds. So this is an issue. We are trying to reach out the people, and the central schemes we are campaigning for that. We are making help desks in all the district headquarters, and booth level up to we are going to have a campaign on these central schemes.
Okay, so you're confident that slowly but surely the BJP is going to come to power in Kerala someday soon.
Definitely, the dark days will go out, and definitely lotus will bloom in Kerala. The 2024 elections, I am 101% confident that we are going to change the situation, and we are going to make inroads in Kerala. So we will get a bright future. We will have a bright future in the coming days in Kerala.
Okay. So any assurance that you want to give to, the BJP, RSS activists, because there have been several deaths that are taking place after Prime Minister Modi took over. Has there been a change? And are you confident that if the BJP comes to power, this will come to an end?
I'm confident that the central ministry and the home ministry will take it seriously, the matter. And one more thing I want to clear to make it clear that we will fight with teeth and nail against this Muslim terrorism, PFI activities in Kerala. Without any hesitation, we will go to the people. We will fight the cause of the common man of the Kerala. We will do a strong agitation throughout Kerala against this PFI and Muslim terrorist groups, and the understanding between CPM and the PFI group. We will go to the people with the agenda.
Okay. All right. Many thanks, Mr. Surendran, for joining us on this show. And we're hoping that the case also gets a closure. There have been several political killings in Kerala, and it's about time the violence comes to an end. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.